Hello everyone and welcome to John with JB's Total Gaming taking a look at Jagged Alliance 2. So why am I playing a game from 1999? Well, I thought two things. I'm going to start a series on good old games. Well, I'm probably not going to call it that because I'm not being sponsored by GOG, but games that are older that you can pick up cheaply and are pretty interesting. I thought this would be a good one to start with. Right now you can actually pick up the entire Jagged Alliance series for $2.72 on GOG.com. I'm not sure how long that sale is, but that's pretty amazing. Well, strategy tactics is a pretty big thing right now with the new XCom out, and as much as I love the remake of the XCom series, I really miss the action point kind of more in-depth turn-based thing that you had with some of these older games, and that's what we're going to be looking at this game right now. So the story is pretty simple. The island nation of Omerta, I believe it's pronounced, has been taken over by a dictator. The dictator's ex-husband is hiring a mercenary group to take it over. So you start being able to make your own character, which we had our first character here. You choose their stats, but you kind of choose their personality by answering some pretty funny questions. And then I've hired a team to go out. So just to show you real quick here, you have an entire, lots of people to pick from here, and some of them are going to randomly be on assignments. That is different every game you start up, and then as you play the game, different people will be available, so you can look at the people, see their stats and stuff, see what things they'll bring with them, and then you can hire them for a day, a week, or 2 weeks, and then the cost per day goes down obviously the longer you hire them, and you can also buy their equipment as well. But that's enough of that. Why don't we go ahead and get to the island? Alright, so here we are about to start into combat. So what we're going to see here is a real-time game until we actually get into combat, and then the turn time will trigger. Again, this might interest you if the whole idea of tactical combat of like the XCom series intrigues you, but you kind of like the old school ability to really use your action points and refine your turns and control every little aspect. Your positioning, prone, crouched, standing, running, the angle you're looking at, and things like that. So we're about to get into combat. Now be warned, I did get a fairly powerful team to start with and spent most of my starting money. Basically you're given a certain amount of money by the person who wants to take back the land that him and his wife used to rule.
Yes.
And as such, you can hire the mercenaries for different amounts of time. I hired a lot of these mercenaries basically for 1 day.
You called?
With the plan of getting rid of most of them after the first day, but taking enough territory in that first day that I can start generating money. So if we look at the map here, basically this is the town we're in. There are 2 sections. Once we take it, we then control the mine in this town. So we can see the mines here. Oh, and actually this town, I'm sorry, doesn't even have a mine, but we do need to take this town first. But this town and this town have mines. So what we're going to do is, after we take this town, split up our forces and try to take these 2 towns as well, all within the first day. If you have good enough people, it can be done, and then you can start generating money. Now you have to protect the mines and actually have people train militia, basically, and that's one of the things you can do in this. You can assign people to different squads. You can have multiple squads making multiple incursions. You can have people training militia. You can have people training squad members to get better in certain stats. There are people that are cheap to hire, but maybe have some bad stats, and if you have a good teacher, they can raise them more quickly. You can have people actually be a doctor and heal wounds, or people repair equipment, and then we can go back to our laptop at any time and see that we have a new email, basically the guy who hired us wishing us good luck. So let's shut this down and get back to the main game. All of that. Oh, and there we go. So the enemies are moving while we are moving. Everything is happening in real time. So we have an enemy right here.
Ready.
So Lynx can go ahead and take a step for 2 action points, and then he's in a pretty good position to hit this guy. Now you can see here I get to choose how much I want to aim each shot. So I can spend 9 of my 23 main action points in order to take a quick kind of hip shot, or I can focus in as much as I want, spending up to 13 points, which I'm going to go ahead and do. So, like I said, I have some high-power guys with some high-power weapons, but one thing that is kind of neat is, let's say that hadn't finished off my opponent, my next shot, because I'm aiming in the same area at the same opponent, would cost less action points. So we're going to go ahead and move Lynx into a little bit safer position here with the rest of his action points. We're going to move Fox in here. Now, he saw an enemy here, so what we're going to do with her is we're going to go ahead and maybe take a shot Yeah, but that's out of the weapon's range. So we could just kind of sneak off in this room here, or I'm going to show off something else you can do in this game. You can either go prone or crouch. So we're just going to crouch here. And then you can even spend action points to change the direction you're looking. Normally it costs 1 if you're standing, 2 if you're crouched, and I'm not sure how many if you are laying down. So now at this point, she sees this enemy, so it's not going to trigger an interrupt. There is no what you would call Overwatch in this game. However, if you have a player that has action points left and an enemy they hadn't seen before walks into their path, they will automatically be able to take actions with the action points they have left from the previous round. So let's go ahead and get these guys into a little better position. Now let's see here. I have 25 action points with my doctor here. Now we could use 24 or whatever to get to there, but that might not give us enough to crouch and get in good position. So I could choose to run, and it only take 14. Now doing that over a long period of time is going to lower his stamina bar, and then he will have less actions in later rounds until he has a chance to recover. And you can drink water and do things like that to recover more quickly too. So I think we're also going to run Len up here to a good position. Now he technically could take a pot shot right now, but we're just going to also have him get in a position, and then we're going to have Reaper over here kind of watch our back over this way and make sure there are no enemies coming, and we're going to have him look over. Oh yeah, we don't have any action points left, so if we had an action point we could look over in that direction. So with your action points you're going to control your movement, your speed of movement. So obviously if I'm crouched, it's going to take me more action points to move, even more if I'm prone. If I'm running, less. I can spend points to look, and all different kinds of things go on. So we're going to go ahead and end our turn, and again, because this is the first section, these enemies aren't very tough. They have kind of bad weapons. I doubt he's going to be able to hit us from anywhere, and you see it bounced off the cover there. So you don't see like the percentages of the shots, but you should get a pretty good idea. So this guy has gone prone, which is going to make him a little bit harder to hit. And let's see here, the guy that I made, he's a pretty good marksman, and we could also go into burst fire with this weapon. So here we basically don't really get to aim at all. It's just going to take 12 action points, and we'll shoot more shots, but they're not very accurate, or we can turn burst mode off. So let's go ahead and with someone who's a little bit more accurate, and maybe see if... Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move my guys up into a better position. So neither one of them are really going to have a shot on this guy. And you see it's kind of grayed out. We know where he is because our other players can see him, but we can't get a shot because we're behind walls. But Len, he's a really good marksman. He has a long-ranged weapon. So we're going to go ahead and take a shot from there, see what we can do. All right. So we did miss, and again, the guy's prone there. We got a good shot, and we actually managed to pin this guy off. Yep, and it is a good weapon that he has. So let's see here. Do we want to activate anyone else? Maybe, should we move Reaper up? Yeah, we're going to move Reaper up just in case somebody's coming from this other direction. We are kind of vulnerable behind us. We're going to go ahead and end the turn here.
We mustn't forget the ones we didn't get.
Alright, so basically, we don't see any enemies, so we go back into real time now.
Okay.
We can move our guys around freely.
Yes.
So let's go ahead. We can leave Len and Dr. Crouched if we want and move them around. And let's see here. Reaper move forward too. And again, we can move around as much as we want until an enemy or us see each other.
Okay. Time to stroll through the Valley of Death.
Alright, so we just triggered here that Link saw an enemy. Now, something to let you guys know too is it is possible to go into stealth mode with your party. It's more effective at night. There are people with stealth skills and all kinds of interesting things. So we can look more detailed and stuff, and actually I believe if we go to our computer, then we can see like different skills that people have. For example, Reaper here is stealthy, and he has an when he's on roof a bonus to hit. So Lynx is good electronics and night ops, so again he has, he's going to work better at night. And because there's a real-time element going on in the background of the game, there's actually even, as we're playing, the lighting is changing slightly to let us know that time is passing. So as you're doing missions, as you're traveling to missions, time is passing. Now you can plan things out on the computer with the game in pause mode, but you can just be sitting back, healing people, training people, and repairing stuff for a while, not even on missions, allowing time to go forward. So this guy, he has a good ability with auto weapons, and he's a good teacher, so another teacher, and ambidextrous. And then the character we created ended up being ambidextrous and stealthy, so those are two nice bonuses based on the choices we made when answering questions. Now Lynx, let's see if he can actually take this guy out before... Yep, so 1 shot, 2 shot. And like I said, I'm playing with probably, really high power people that I hire just for 1 day to make a quick rush. That's one strategy you can take in the game. But then I have to kind of sit back for a while and collect money to hire people again. So now that I've defeated everyone in an area, I can go around and freely check houses and things like that. I can go pick up items off of enemies or inside of houses, or I can spread out into the next section. So we'll go back to the map here. In order to control this town, we have to take both of these sections. And then loyalty will go up as we control the section longer, as we build up militia, and then, like I said, you can assign people here in order to train militia, to train other people, to repair, to be a doctor or a patient. You say somebody, okay, I want you to be a doctor and you to heal them. Obviously they need to be in the same section, but you can eventually have your squad spread out all throughout here. Here's the capital down here. This is where you're eventually going to want to get to. And while this game may have looked pretty simple in this first view of this very first section, trust me, the enemies get really good weapons and get really tough late in the game. So the whole time you're trying to manage controlling these towns, your towns will get attacked, so you want enough militia to defend it. You might not be able to get there to defend it on time. You want to train your people, and basically this game gives you a lot of in-depth ability to be able to control what you're doing on the battlefield with your action points, and also what you're doing with everyone in the main map. So obviously, being a game from 1999, the graphics aren't going to look as nice as they would with brand new games. But if you really like the idea of turn-based tactics and want a little bit more control than the to move or move and shoot or just shoot action of XCom, and as much as I love XCom, I really love the ability to have very detailed, fine control. And while this game has a really cheesy story and it obviously looks old because it is old, might be a game that you enjoy quite a bit with the kind of ground-based strategy of the turns and then the higher level strategy of having to manipulate what everyone does. Hire people maybe just to be doctors or repair stuff for a brief time because your weapons do degrade, and figuring out how best to use your mercenaries, spread them out, use your time wisely, maybe doing night ops in places, putting together a team of night ops and a team that attacks during the day, and all different kinds of stuff like that. So that is Jagged Alliance 2. Obviously Jagged Alliance 1 is a pretty good game. I really prefer the second one, though. They made a lot of improvements, and you can get the whole series pretty cheaply on GOG right now. So for you strategy tactics gamers out there, this is an old game that you might really enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll be back with more, old but still really good games in the near future. Thanks for checking out JB's Total Gaming. If you like, subscribe. If not, that's fine, but hopefully you'll enjoy something else to come out in the future. JB's Total Gaming can also be found on Twitch and Twitter under the same name. Again, thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you guys again soon.